Hola, buenas tardes. I didn't get a lot of requests on the Google Doc that I posted in an announcement earlier this week for topics for today's video, but there was one, so I'll address that one and then just share some other miscellaneous tips that I think might be helpful to you at this point in the semester. So what was asked for was some help with useful vocabulary tips and verb conjugations. So for vocabulary, one recommendation that I don't think really comes up a lot in the class instructional materials is to pay attention to cognates. Cognates are those words that are really similar in English and Spanish, and particularly look at groups of words that will help expand your vocabulary. So things like words that end with OUS in English. In Spanish, many of those words will end with OSO or A, depending on whether it's masculine or feminine. So things like famous in English becomes famoso or famosa in Spanish. Curious in English becomes curioso or curiosa in Spanish. Fabulous is fabuloso or fabulosa. Another group of words is words that end with ty in English. They're nouns that end with ty. In Spanish, they'll end with tad or dad, and they will be feminine nouns. So, for example, identity in English becomes la identidad in Spanish. And if you memorize them with the article el or la, it'll help you remember the gender of those nouns. So identity, identidad, liberty, la libertad, specialty, la especialidad. So watch for groups of words like that where you can really boost your vocabulary significantly by memorizing or paying attention to those cognates. So that's my tip for vocabulary development. Also, one thing that I've noticed is a pretty common practice in students who end up developing a high level of fluency in Spanish when they start studying it in high school or college, is they keep a kind of their own personal Spanish dictionary. So of course you probably have a Spanish dictionary, either print or online, that you use, and if you don't, I encourage you to find one. Or an app that you can download on your phone and have easy access to, but also this kind of personal dictionary. So a notebook or someplace where you keep a list of words that you've had to look up or that you find yourself trying to remember, having a hard time remembering, but there's something that you use frequently. So keep kind of a running log of those words that you find important when you're trying to communicate something in Spanish. So maybe it's a favorite hobby that's not part of our vocabulary in the class, but it's something that you find yourself using a lot of times for voice thread activities, live chat activities, discussion boards, compositions, that kind of thing. Or if you're trying to use more Spanish in your day-to-day life, there may be things, a favorite food, a favorite hobby, like I said, anything that you find yourself talking about a lot. Keep a list of that vocabulary, someplace where you can refer back to it, and writing it down and keeping it as part of a sort of a vocabulary log can help you better memorize those words. So then verb conjugations. So that's what we're kind of in the middle of right now, is learning how to use verbs in Spanish. And I know that it's taking a lot of time right now of your study time. And that's fair, because verbs are a huge part of a language. And in Spanish, they're a huge part of the things that you have to memorize. So as you memorize those verbs, try to anytime you encounter a verb in one context, see if you can put it into another context. So let's say you see a sentence that says something like, yo estudio español. Ask yourself, okay, how would I say you study Spanish? How would I say we study Spanish? Tú estudias español. Nosotros estudiamos español. Just make it kind of a habit of manipulating the verbs that way, taking them and reusing them in another context, so that you practice that conjugation. And also, if you haven't started using the verb conjugation charts, I do strongly recommend that you use those, just more than anything, because then you get to handwrite out the conjugations. And of course, they are a Word document, so you can fill them out online, but I really recommend, if at all possible, printing them and filling them out by hand so that you get that extra, the extra memory boost that comes with handwriting something. I think that was it. Again, just keep making use of all of the materials online. If you haven't been, be sure that you're fully using all of the materials in the Blackboard weekly folders. It's easy to get in the habit of just logging into my Spanish lab and completing the material there, because that's what's the most time consuming. And but definitely make use of the materials that I've posted in Blackboard, because those are the things that I've really specifically selected to support you as students in this class. So hopefully that's helpful. I will see you all online.